There's something we don't talk about enough. That the times we need kindness the most are the times we feel like we deserve it the least. When we fail, when we fall short, when we say the wrong thing, make the wrong choice, let ourselves or others down, it's in those exact moments that our inner critic screams the loudest. And instead of offering ourselves compassion, we double down. We attack ourselves as if tearing ourselves apart is some kind of protection. We believe that if we beat others to the punch, if we point out our flaws first, if we magnify them, obsess over them, prepare for all the ways others might judge us, then maybe it won't hurt so much when they do. But here's the truth. It always hurts, and the cruel words we say to ourselves cut even deeper than anything the world could throw at us. Think about it. Has being harsh with yourself ever truly made you stronger? Did shaming yourself ever really make you braver? No, what it did was make you smaller. It convinced you that maybe you are the problem, that maybe you are unworthy, and that maybe other people's approval is the currency of your worth. But that's not strength, that's fear disguised as discipline. That's survival mode pretending to be self-awareness. We have to talk about this. Self-criticism doesn't protect you. It paralyzes you. It doesn't build resilience. It builds resentment. And worst of all, it tricks you into believing that kindness is something you need to earn, when in reality, kindness is the fuel you need to grow. I learned this the hard way, okay? For so long, I thought my self-criticism was a form of preparation. If I tore myself apart first, then no one else could. If I anticipated the rejection, maybe it wouldn't sting so much. But here's what I discovered. All it did was make me live inside the rejection before it even happened. I was living in pain that hadn't even arrived yet. And even when it didn't come, even when no one judged me or when people actually encouraged me, I couldn't feel it because I had already decided not to let kindness in. You see, we confuse cruelty with control. We think if we are hard on ourselves, we will get better. We will try harder, we will finally fix ourselves. But the truth is, cruelty doesn't fix us. It breaks us. It teaches us to fear our own reflection. It convinces us that love, especially self-love, is conditional. And when you live like that, even if other people love you, you won't believe them. You will keep asking, why? Why would anyone love me? Don't they see my flaws? Because deep down, you don't see your worth. Here's the shift. You have to be kindest to yourself when it feels least deserved. That's not weakness, that's courage. Because in those moments, your instinct will scream, you don't deserve love, you don't deserve forgiveness, you don't deserve grace. But kindness isn't about deserving. It's about healing. When a child falls and scrapes their knee, you don't scream at them for being clumsy. You don't tell them they are weak. You comfort them. You clean the wound. You help them up again. Why can't we do the same for ourselves? Every single one of us has that inner child still alive within us. The part of us that longs to be comforted, accepted, embraced. But somewhere along the way, we decided that harshness equals strength, that criticism equals accountability, that cruelty equals improvement. And all it did was turn us into our own worst enemy. So how do we change this? How do we start being kind to ourselves, especially when it feels unnatural, even impossible? It starts with awareness, okay? Notice the voice, that inner critic, that sharp tongue inside your head. It's not you. It's fear. It's all programming. It's the echo of every insult, every judgment, every disappointment you have absorbed along the way. Interrupt the script. When you hear yourself saying, I'm not enough, I always fail, I'll never get it right, pause, ask yourself, would I say this to someone I love? If the answer is no, then you shouldn't say it to yourself either. Practice self-kindness as a discipline. And yes, I said discipline. Because being kind to yourself is not some fluffy, feel-good, occasional thing. It's a practice. It's a choice you make again and again. It's feeding yourself when you would rather skip dinner. It's resting when your body is begging for sleep. It's telling yourself, I'm proud of you, even when you didn't achieve everything you hoped to. The other day, I was spiraling about something small, something writing related, and my instinct was to reach out to my friend, the one who always encourages me, always reminds me to keep going. But then I stopped and I asked myself, why do I need to wait for her to tell me those words? Like, why can't I say them to myself? So I did. I told myself what she would have told me. You are doing your best. Keep going. You are enough. And in that moment, I realized I don't need anyone's permission to give myself love. Neither do you. The truth is, people's opinions, especially their negative ones, often have more to do with their own insecurities than with you. So why let them define your worth? Why let someone else's wants dictate how you see yourself? You can't control what others think of you, but you can control the story you tell yourself. You can narrate your life as your harshest critic or as someone who loves you. And I promise you, when you choose the latter, everything changes. So here's what I want you to remember. When you feel like you least deserve kindness, that's when you need it most. When you fail, when you stumble, when you break, that's not the time to abandon yourself. That's the time to come closer, to whisper, like, it's okay, you are still worthy, you are still loved, because you are. And the journey of healing, of growth, of becoming, it begins with choosing kindness, not because someone else gave you permission, not because you earned it, but because it's the only way forward. So today, be kind to yourself, not later, not when you feel worthy, now, exactly as you are. You have to be kindest to yourself when it seems least deserved. Remember that. Carry it with you because it will change everything. And this was the message of today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. And that's it. I see you in the next video. Bye.